Hi, this is Dan Sullivan. I'd like to welcome you to the Multiplier Mindset Podcast. Today's game changer transformation story is Alex Gertsburg, who is from Chagrin Falls, Ohio. That's just pretty much cross town from where I was born in 1944, which was Rocky River, Ohio. So here's a cheer out for all you Cleveland Browns fans, which requires courage, by the way, to be a Cleveland Browns fan. So anyway, Alex tells a wonderful story, and it's wonderful to me because it's right where we're taking the Strategic Coach program right now, namely that he was a lawyer, went through law school, went out and practiced on his own, but then began to realize that instead of being out in the marketplace competing with other lawyers, he decided, why don't I collaborate with other lawyers? And this is a phenomenal breakthrough. I don't care what business or industry that you're in, that if you switch the game, and this is a huge game changer, if you switch the game so that what you're doing is that what everybody else thinks should be your competition, you actually treat them as potential collaborators and also as customers and clients. What it tells me right off the bat about Alex, and I had the opportunity to have lunch in our cafe with Alex, and so I know his background story, that this not seeing the marketplace as an entrepreneur as a dog-eat-dog sort of competitive race to take advantage of scarcity in the marketplace, you begin to see that I know things and I understand processes that my competitors don't know. And instead of using my knowledge, and it's really wisdom when you think about it, to share my wisdom with other lawyers and to identify areas where I'm just uniquely valuable to them, and in that way make them allies to me out in the marketplace so that their first thought when they think about my particular capability, because I've been so helpful and I've been so transformatively useful to them, that my name automatically comes to the top. And because I'm not competing with them, I stick out as very, very unusual. And they say, you know, he's got a completely different game going. And every time I meet with him, every time I talk with him, I see my own career as a lawyer better. And he'd be the first person that I would mention as being a real thought leader in our industry. And I've seen this time after time after time work in exactly the same way. We have 60, 70 different industries and how many different kinds of specialties represented in the Strategic Coach program. And every time that an entrepreneur goes from the competitive position towards scarcity and goes to collaboration, they immediately see there's almost more abundance of opportunity than they could ever get to. What this allows Alex to do is to treat his failures, his setbacks, the obstacles that he has in his own personal entrepreneurial life as simply raw material for creating new breakthroughs in solutions and in processes and structures that he can communicate to other lawyers to help them actually move forward and also create a bigger and better future for themselves. So this is pure game changer, what Alex is talking about here. And it's so refreshing to me that he's caught on to this so quickly in his Strategic Coach career. And I can see him jumping to 10 times. And he's got all the right mindsets right now for becoming a game changer at our Game Changer program level. It's just going to be constant growth for Alex for the rest of his career.
My name is Alex Gertsburg. I'm CEO of the Gertsburg Law Firm and Cover My Six. I've been practicing law for about 20 years. I started the Gertsburg Law Firm 6.5 years ago, and Cover My Six is the newest iteration of a service that we have, and that's about 1.5 years old. I got into being an entrepreneur when I realized about 6 years ago that the thing that I was doing at that time, which was serving as in-house counsel to a large corporation, was something that I could do for more than just the one company and the one client, and that I could leverage my knowledge with other lawyers who would work with me to replicate what I did for many more clients. So that realization really happened about 6.5 years ago when I realized that I wasn't leveraging that knowledge base and the checklists and the templates and the processes that I'd already developed nearly enough as I could. I had the confidence to know that I could lead people and that I could create processes. And I knew that I had, at that point, built something that could work for other clients. It was scary, too, but I kind of love fear, and I use that as energy, and that has really helped over the last 6 years because there has been a lot of failure. So I would say our failures usually come in the form of a lost client or a lost employee. And those are big failures because there are reputational hits that you take, and there are emotional hits, and there's investment hits that you take. So an employee takes lots of time to develop and lots of knowledge that you transfer. And when they leave to go to another law firm or to start their own law firm, they're taking your investment with them. And each time that's happened, there is that initial moment of despondency that we experience. And I take it really personally every time. I don't know, years of failing that wasn't coupled with a positive reaction, that wasn't coupled with learning the lesson. It was just failing. I would definitely say that failure is necessary in entrepreneurship. I would say that if you're not failing, you're not trying. You're not taking risks that put you out there in a position to fail. This is not my idea. I'm regurgitating what I think everyone in Coach knows. I've been with the program 3 years, 2.5 really. This is my 3rd year. I got into the program when I realized that I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the room, in fact, far from it, and that there are lots of smarter people than me out there. I read that all of the smartest people out there have coaches. And the realization, the light bulb went off for me when I realized that the best athletes in the world, the Tiger Woods and the Michael Jordans and the LeBron Jameses, they all have coaches. And I don't know why my ego would allow me to believe that I don't need one if they need one. So I went shopping around and I interviewed a lot of coaches and I read a lot of materials from coaching organizations and a connection to other members of Coach that are in my area, which is Cleveland. And they connected me with 3 of them, and I met with each of them. They told me that they had met all of the goals that they set for themselves on that first day of Coach, and that was what I needed to hear. What keeps me coming back is the results, the confidence that I have every time I leave here, and that stays with me mostly until I come back. I still have those failures, I still have those dips, but I am able to use the tools that I learn here to bounce back a lot faster. A lot of things to be afraid of, competitors, employees leaving, losing clients, and all of those have generated their own fear, which has generated its own energy. And so learning from those things has helped me become a better entrepreneur, I think. So the action steps that are part of the transformation that I think I have assumed over the years are, first, take a breath and notice mindfully what's happening. And what I tend to notice for me is I start worrying about my reputation and what other employees will think when an employee leaves, or what other clients will think when another company, maybe one that they're talking to, has left. So first I notice that I get stressed out. Then after the stress subsides a little bit, which takes time, I get out a pencil and paper and I gather my thoughts and then I gather my team in that order. And I will figure out as best I can with their help what happened between A and B and how to minimize the chance of that happening. And I also try to find the bright side in it, which I think is really important, because Like I said, you're failing. That's part of being an entrepreneur. And it's so easy to just see the darkness and the failure. And you have to make part of your automatic response be the positive viewpoint, the silver lining. There's always a blessing in there somewhere, guaranteed. That's probably the best example of the energy that is created from those failures. And we do the same thing with large clients leaving, which still happens. But we learn from it and we grow and we get better. So when I started Coach, I was doing everything by myself. It was just a whole lot of firefighting. There was always a long list of things that weren't getting done and which I felt I was the only one that I could trust to do them. And I was probably more disagreeable as a person because I was always stressed out about all those things that weren't getting done. 2 concepts in Coach got me to this place where a month ago I was able to live and work in Argentina for a full month without my business imploding. So my girlfriend and I decided that this was something that was really important to us. And to me personally, it's something I'd always wanted to do. For the most part, we're able to step away from the business. It was not without its drama, but the business didn't just survive. We finished the year with 50% growth over the prior year, with me not being there for the last month of it. So I really do feel like there is this cycle of good things and help that comes from Coach and goes through me and then goes to my clients. Has definitely helped me grow confidence, and it has given me these great forms and these great tools that I'm able to use in almost every situation. I mean, that's the thing. Dan and Gary, they know all of the ups and downs of businesses, or at least enough concepts that go with those ups and downs to be able to address them through these tools that they create. And what starts out as these complex, really difficult scenarios with my clients or my businesses, I walk out of here with answers.
Yeah, the great story that Alex tells here is about his taking a month off and going to Buenos Aires. And this is almost like a dream scenario for an entrepreneur. And you say, what if in the future I could take a period of time off and just go someplace that I love to be and identify beforehand if I have to work or not work during that month, but then really identify my free focus and buffer days in that scenario. And then what you have to do when you have that goal, and you'd want to make that goal not too far off into the future, then work with your own team back in your company and say, I'd like to take a month off, go to Buenos Aires. And this is strategy circle, if you think about the strategy circle. So I can see Alex actually doing a strategy circle where he said, I'm going to go to Buenos Aires for a month, and this is going to be true, and this is going to be true, and this is going to be true, and this is going to be true. And then you identify all the obstacles to that, and then say it's 6 months off or a year off, and then you go through and you transform all the obstacles so that you can go away for a month, your team is confident and clear back, and you're totally clear and you're totally confident about doing what you're doing. I will guarantee that 10 years from now, that trip to Buenos Aires, that 1 month, is probably worth about $10 million to Alex, that he would not have gotten to if he hadn't actually set this up as a project, freed himself up for a month, went away, totally nailed the trip, totally had a great experience, and came back and discovered that his business year was 50% bigger during the year that he took a month off than any year he had had previously. And that's how you grow as an entrepreneur. You create scenarios that shows that you have a self-managing company. You create scenarios that you can be freed up from not being at work all the time. And just a fantastic story, and I'm so happy he shared it with us. So the ideal knowledge product that we have for this is called selfmanagingcompany.coach.